my two activities that I'm going to be talking about are collaborative reading and sorting activities. First, I'll talk about collaborative reading, which is the 14th strategy in the book. So collaborative reading can just be used to help students when they're like reading for information. So students use text sets to get information on a specific topic, and a text set is just a set of books chosen by the teacher on a specific topic. So say that you were like wanting to learn something about bugs or like in science, you could use a text set so that a group of students could each have a book that is picked just for them and for their specific reading level, and they'll each read their own book, but the whole group will have a same topic, and they'll just use those books to explore questions they have about this topic and just work together to get information on this one topic. So these text sets used for collaborative reading just really allow the students to all work together even if they have different reading abilities. So English language learners are really supported in this because they can have text with simpler language and illustrations, while other people in their group can have something more challenging and something more geared towards them, so that the English language learners still feel very included in the group project and just like really feel like they have a part. So just like each person in the group can contribute in a unique way. So the steps for this type of activity would be to first, for the teacher to gather a range of books on different reading levels. So like I already said, the teacher would pick books like while thinking of each student while picking them, so that each student can have a book that's their reading level, so that they aren't like falling behind the rest of the group and they can just really contribute in the best way possible for them. And then after the books are chosen, the teacher needs to organize groups, and she needs to carefully consider strengths and needs of each student when picking these groups, because like I said, in these text sets there will be a lot of different reading levels, so you just want to be very careful when choosing these groups. So each group will explore a topic, so they'll all have the same topic, but their books will each be different. And the book that we're reading, the 50 Strategies, says the best way to do this is probably a KWL chart, which is a know, want to know, and then learned. Just a graphic organizer for them to organize their thoughts. And so the know is the group would get together, and for the K of the KWL chart, they would all write as a group what they already know about this topic. And then the W, which is want to know, is the questions they have that they want to be looking for an answer for. And then the learned is something they would do after they have explored the topic, and that's what you've learned about this topic that you didn't know beforehand. And when making the W column of the KWL chart, students will be looking for a question they all want to learn about and like be specifically looking for in these text sets, so that they all have a like physical goal to be trying to figure out. So the teacher will provide each student in the class with a book on their reading level. And then the next step is to provide research instruction, which just means that the teacher will have the students find the answers in their books and take notes about the findings. And the book we're reading says that this might require a mini lesson, meaning that when you tell them to just look up look up their readings and then take notes about it, depending on the age and ability of these students, they may not know how to take shorthand notes, and they'll just end up writing everything from the book, which isn't very beneficial and isn't the point of this. So you could do a mini lesson on how to take shorthand notes and how to take the important information from the book and put it into your own words on a piece of paper, because then you'll be benefiting the group the most when y'all are looking for this answer, instead of just having exactly what the text says. So a mini lesson could be really beneficial here, and that could just help further these students' knowledge and just like life skills, because that's so useful in all grades. And then after the mini lesson, if you were to do one, or to allow them time to find the answers in their books, you you would create a data chart to discuss your findings. So whatever seems most fitting for these students, and for each group it could be different. You just have them create a chart showing what they found, and that could be used for the KWL, or you could use something else. And then you would have the students prepare for a group presentation to the class about what they found. So since they were researching this specific question, they would get together as a group and they would discuss what they found, and they would figure out a way to present it to the classroom. And then while those group presentations are going on, the teacher needs to be assessing the groups and just documenting it. And so the teacher will be looking for certain things, working together, following instructions, gathering information, and presenting the information. So she'll be grading them on all of these things, or taking note of how they're doing. And so just collaborative reading is just really useful for every student in the classroom, including English language learners, because it just gives them such ownership of what they're doing and of this topic. And when picking the topics, you could even do groups, but like you can group them by interest so that everyone is reading something they're interested in and something they really want to know more about. And it just allows students to use their unique gifts and just make them really feel a part of the group and like they're actually doing something. And this is just super beneficial for struggling students, because it makes it seem like they are equal to these other students who are always seeming to do like well, when they when these other students that are struggling just feel like they aren't a part of the classroom and aren't doing well even though they might be. So this just helps them know that they're part of the classroom and they can work with these other students. And so it's just a great way to just bring the classroom together. And while doing this and researching things, students will acquire new vocabulary. They'll just be learning so much more new information. And so this can just be used to provide students with knowledge from a variety of sources, which is so great for them. Okay, my next topic is sorting activities. It's the 17th in the strategy in the book. So, sorting activities are activities that require students to sort objects, words, phrases, and sentences according to set parameters. So, sorry. So, sorting activities provide a way for English language learners to manipulate objects and written symbols to show their understanding of concepts. So, instead of just having to be asked a question and answer it like right off the bat, they're able to like sort it in a way that makes it easier for them, and so they can still like show their knowledge and learning in just such an easier way and less stressful way for them. And so that's just so great for them. And while doing this, it helps English language learners acquire vocabulary and structures and needed verbal instructions, because they have to talk about what they're doing. So it allows so much growth for them. If these sorting activities are planned correctly, they can be used for any grade from kindergarten through 12th grade. You can make them as easy or as difficult as you need them to be. So one huge example that I've definitely seen the most in classroom is word walls. So word walls can be used in so many different ways also. And so they're such a great tool for students and for the teacher. So a word wall can be like literally a wall with the alphabet A through Z, just in big letters, and then put words on the word wall by the letters. So you can, for like a kindergarten or first grade class, you could do sight words. And so one would be the, and it would go under the T, obviously. And so that can just be used to for vocabulary development for the students. And they can specifically help English language learners by putting, you can like put multiple languages on these words, and then also an illustration so that they just have something easy to look at. So if it's in their language and in English, they can just constantly be looking at it to remember what that word is, and will just help with vocabulary development for them. And like I said, high frequency words need to always be on this word wall unless you have multiple in the classroom. So the book we're reading was saying that you could have one word wall with just high frequency words, and then you could have another word wall that could be smaller on the other side of the classroom, or just like personal for the actual like lesson you're learning or literature topic you're on, so that, because if this is done in a higher classroom, you can't have all the words on there because obviously there will be too much throughout the year, but you can do it by topic, and so every time that topic is over, you can put them on something called a word ring, and so it's where you take the words off and then you hole punch the left top corner, and you get a ring, and you just put them all together so students can still be referring to it and flipping through those words so that the vocabulary is still being used from those words, but you're also adding more onto the word wall just to give more room to make it more clear and just better for the students. So like I said, you can have several or you can have one. You can have students have their own personal one, or you can have them have that just on the classroom that they're always able to use. But a big part of word walls is that they're always available to the students when they're on the wall, so they can use them at any time throughout a lesson or throughout the day or a week or whatever. So another example is word sorts, which is where the teacher sorts words by beginning, ending, or like vowel sounds, or what the word starts with, like if it's a like how it's blended or just whatever you're doing with it. You can sort it by that, and that just has the students look at the words more carefully and just think about them more. So the steps to this are, the first one is to identify skills that can be practiced in demonstrating using these sorting materials and just preparing those materials. So whatever you think that the classroom needs the most is what you would focus this sorting game on or sorting activity on, and then you would need to prepare the materials for the students. And then after that, you would have to explain the exact activity, because students need you to model what they're going to be doing so that they can do it the most effectively for them. And they just need like clear expectations of what they're going to do. And so using a word wall, you can like have their own personal one, like I said, and you could have them sorting words like in a group or by themselves. And so the next step is to set up a routine and requirements for these students and for the activity, and you need to tell them exactly how you want it to be done, like I said. So just like really emphasizing what you want to be done so that they can do it the best they possibly can without any confusion of like what they're supposed to be doing. And the last step is to assess the student's progress. So there are multiple different ways where you can assess it. You can either walk around while it's going on and make like anecdotal notes of what's happening, or you can have them take a picture of what they've done if it's a little bit older students. You can have them write a little paragraph or write something to turn into you about what they did. And so sorting activities just really provide hands-on experience for these students. It just allows them to be working with words and just like moving them around and figuring out where they're going and sorting them and just really like analyzing them, especially if you're doing word sorts where you have to sort them by certain elements of the word. So it just makes them really look at it carefully and really analyze these words and get to know them and help build vocabulary. So like I said, since you're really working on sorting them, it helps a lot with teaching students how to organize materials and how to just look at them differently, and it allows English language learners to demonstrate their understanding with reduced reliance on language skills. So it's just less stress on them while they get to actually explore the word and look at it in depth and just look at it from different ways, and they can ask for assistance from students if they need it. And these can really be used in any subject, from phonics, math, science, English. Like I said earlier, it's perfect for kindergarten through 12th grade. There's not really an age limit on it because it can be done in so many ways. So, yeah, those are my two topics, and they're just both really useful in the classroom.